Hi, we are going to show you how to do our 5-minute poof today. So there are about 6 items. One of them is optional that you'll need to do a poof. So the first one is what a tease. It's backcomb in a bottle. You can use any type of just backcombing help product. So they have a powder and then there's a few other mousses that you can use, but today on Addie we're going to use this one. You will also need hairspray just to make sure that the hair holds intact. Okay. You will need bobby pins, you will need hair ties, you will need your combo, and you will also need a teasing comb. Hi guys, we are going to start by adding some What a Tease backcomb in a bottle to Addie's hair to just give a little bit of texture. So I'm just going to spray it through her hair, looking to get more towards the roots of her hair. I'm going to go actually all the way back with the spray to the back part of her crown and just get in little pieces everywhere. And then I'm just going to run my fingers through it, kind of tangle it up just a little bit before I start to tease it. Okay. Then when I start the actual teasing process, I'm going to take a little bit of hairspray and do similar kind of step. You don't have to use a root plumper or a texturizer, so if you don't want to use that, just go ahead and start with this step, which is using the hairspray. So same kind of thing. I'm just going to spray a little bit of hairspray all throughout her hair. Just kind of use my fingers in it. Okay, so once I've done that, you can see her hair has some product in it, so I'm going to start to tease it. So when I tease hair, I just pull up little pieces about that thin. And I'll take my comb with the very front piece and I'll just tease the back side of it, holding the top of her hair. I'll tease going down and teasing it almost until it falls out of my hand. And then it should stick up like that. Then I'll go back and I'll take another little piece. Once I've done the front layer, I actually tease from the back and then I actually tease a little bit from the front. That helps give it that nice little extra volume. As you get further back into her hair, there won't be as much product in it. So I'll typically just add a little bit more hairspray in her hair. And then continue with my process of teasing the hair, just with little pieces at a time. Holding it at the top, about that thick. Doing the back side till it almost falls out of my hand, and then switching to the front. Again, I don't do the front side teasing until after I've done the first layer. Okay, so once you've teased the hair in small pieces all the way back to the crown of the head, it should look very similar to like a little peacock or kind of a mohawk. What I usually do and what I would suggest to do is to give it just a little bit more depth and to round it out is I actually go back through to the sides and I spray a little bit more on the sides. And now you turn your head this way. And then I tease a little bit on the sides. Same thing, front side of it, back side of it, just so that we can round it out. And I will do a couple pieces of that. You can always comb out the hair once you've teased it, so it's better to start with too much tease than to not have enough. There we go. And then we'll switch to the other side. Similar thing, giving it just a little bit of hairspray to give it texture. Okay, so once you finish that, you just have this nice, beautiful poof. And then you're gonna just flip it all over and the hair will pretty much stand up pretty high, which is okay. So what you're gonna start to do to shape it is just start to brush it back and the hair will start to slowly brush out and you'll start to see the poof form a little bit at a time. Oops, sorry, ads. So as you brush it back, your poof is starting to be ready to go. You look lovely, Addie. So once you get to this process, you're going to need bobby pins. So make sure that you have enough bobby pins on hand that you can just pull them out and use them as needed. I usually start by kind of just figuring out the shape that I want. So if I want a certain shape, I like pull it back and pull it together, and then you're able to fix it how you need to. So if it's falling a little flat, so it looks like what's happening right here is that Addie had her head in a headband today, which is okay. If that happens, just go ahead and re-tease that front layer a tiny bit so that it just can go back up and you can shape it a little better. Okay, so once you are there, you're gonna pull back. I usually go like right about here and start to pull the poof back a little bit, and then as you can see, I just pull my fingers together in the back. So what will happen is it pretty much will just shape itself, and then you'll start to bobby pin it. And then I usually put one in on one side, and then I'll put another one in on the other side. So that will at least get the poof to hold, and then we can brush it and fix it and shape it as we need to. Okay, so once you've gotten your poof shaped the way you want it and it's pinned up really tight, you want to make sure that you're crossing the bobby pins so they're pinned nice and tight in there so that all of her hair is in. You are going to want to just make sure that it's shaped the way you want it. So looking at Addie's from the front, it looks like this side is pulled out a little more. So you can just take your comb and pull out just a tiny bit on all sides. So once you have it up, just give it a little bit of a spray so that it stays, and then you can start to part her hair up. If you have a bob, you need to go from behind the ears for the half up, half down. So you want to start to pull from here. She'll have little pieces that will fall down that we can actually pin up. So once you do that, you can start to part your hair. You can use a comb however you need, and then you can start to just put it up. Okay, now that you've gotten your hair in a tight ponytail, you can see that Addie's is parted straightly and it's going from behind the ears all the way down. She does have a few baby hairs because she does have a shorter bob, and what I would do with that is just spray the sides a little bit and then go ahead and just comb the hair up. And then to secure it, I would just put a little bobby pin in it to hold her hair up from falling back down. So once that goes in, the sides of her hair are up. Give both sides just a little bit of spray so that it's sitting up nice and tight. So once you have your poof in and your ponytail up with your bob, you're going to go ahead and add. You're going to go ahead and add your bow. But before you add your bow, you want to make sure that your hair is actually sitting up. So Addie right now just has one hair tie in, and I'm going to actually add at least 2 more. So with short hair like this, I would do 2 or 3. If you have longer hair like mine, I used to put 4 in my hair. So we want her hair to sit up nice and high. So I'm going to add a couple more. And that's going to make her hair sit up kind of like a little pineapple. And then I'm going to put her bow in. So when I put the bow in, I make sure that I go to the bottom of all the headbands. Addie, turn your head that way, so that it is holding underneath all these headbands, or the rubber bands, so that it's sitting at the base of her ponytail. And then you can adjust her bow, tighten it up. And then to add just a little bit more volume, you don't have to, you can tease the top of it. I would actually suggest it so that her hair sits over her bow. So same kind of spraying technique. I'm just going to spray a little hairspray and use my teasing comb to tease the front of it until it just falls out of my hand. And then I'll just keep going through layers, teasing the front and the back. And then I will actually tease all of it, and then I'll just comb it back down over. The best thing about teasing is you can always brush it right out if it's too much. So hers is just sticking up a little bit, so we'll just comb it out a tiny bit. And she does have a shorter bob, so she is going to have a little bit of the pineapple, which is great and cute. And then her hair is up and over. Come out a little bit of that right there. And then I would just spray the top so that it's holding. And then Addison actually does have her hair straightened nicely So if your hair is in a bob and it's not straightened nicely and has a nice little under curl, you'll need to do that. So if it's flipped out, you'll need to go back in with a straightener or a curling iron and make sure that it's sitting under. I would suggest just straightening it so it flips like this. So this is what your final product is when you have a bob. Smile.